people to join. Happy Tuesday. Perfect. So we're not going to need any props today, and our focus, you guys, is going to be butt. It's good times focus of the week. Even though my butt is already so sore. Someone send me like a little heart or something just to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Just want to make sure before we start. Hi, everybody coming on. Good. Thumbs up or a wave or something. Make sure you guys can hear me. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so we're gonna actually start standing. No props needed for today. Once you guys find yourself standing, feet just at one edge of the mat, I want you to go ahead and feel them make the number 11 just beneath your hips. You're gonna let your hands just kind of dangle by your sides. You're gonna soften your knees a little bit, kind of rock back into your heels, and then feel your toes widen a little bit more on the mat. Starting with our base of support, our heavy feet, I want you to press down to pull in and up on the quads, feeling your legs straighten a little bit more. And then I want you to think about pressing out on the outer edges of your heels without lifting your big toes to feel just a little bit of engagement from the side of your hip. Feel that rooting down sensation and try and maintain it as you take a deep breath in through your nose. And then let everything relax as you exhale out through your mouth. Let your knees soften a little bit. Feel your ribs kind of drip a little heavier towards your pelvis. You're going to take 3 more breaths like this. So on an inhale, root down, straighten the legs, press out and open as if you had a band around your thighs, trying to activate a little bit of the outer hip. Breathe a little deeper into the ribs, expand the belly if you can. And as you exhale, soften the knees, feel your butt relax, feel yourself get heavier into the floor. One more deep breath like this. Finding that engagement through the legs simply by pressing down and out through the bottoms of the heels and pinky toes. And on this next exhale, as you let your knees soften, let your hands soften, gently start to drop your chin towards your chest, bending the knees as much as you need to start to find your roll forward. At the bottom, hang as heavy as you can to start. Again, bend those knees if you feel any strain in the back of the hamstrings. Give yourself whatever you need here. Maybe it's a little sway side to side. Maybe it's a little play with your hands on the back of your scalp. Take a deep breath in. Hang a little heavier on your next exhale. And then bend the knees as much as you need to slowly restack that spine. Feeling a little pressure down through the heels, feeling your nose drag up the center of your body. Last thing to arrive at the top is your head lifting on top of your spine. Big juicy shoulder roll up and back. Oof, that felt really good today. Give it all a little shake, pedal out the legs, the hands. You're going to do that 2 more times, chin to chest, roll forward. Try and keep your butt just over your knees, not letting it push too far back or slide forward. Pause about halfway. See if you can hollow out the low belly even more, let the head hang even heavier, and then continue to pour the rest of the way down. Feel the heaviness of the muscles in your face start to drip towards the floor. Feel your forehead relax. Give yourself whatever you need here. Maybe you pedal out the legs a little bit left or right. Good. Take an extra step of air in on your next exhale. Slowly restack. Pressing down through the heels, widening all 10 toes, feeling your footprint get a little heavier as you peel yourself back up. As you arrive to fully standing, head on top of spine, juicy shoulder roll up and back. Give it a little shimmy, let it go. This last one, find your roll down and walk yourself out into a high plank. There is no rush, especially now that you know a plank is coming. Let it all hang. Give your head a little yes, a little no. With as much control as you can, knees as soft as they need to be. Walk yourself out and find yourself in your first high plank. Hips are tucked towards the floor. Flex your heels back. Take a moment. I want you to start to wrap your biceps forward. Start to grow a little taller through the crown of the head, so let your gaze shine a little farther forward. Can you then press down into the pinky side of the palm just like you did with your feet and feel the outer edges of your shoulder kick on. Take a deep breath in. You're going to press through the balls of your feet. Point your toes to slide your weight forward a few inches. Breathe in here and then flex the feet, reach the heels back. Find your plank again. You're gonna do that nice and slow, just 2 more times. You can always bring the knees down if you need to. I always think of sliding just across the top of a glass table. Keep that perfect form. Last one. As you flex your heels back, soften your knees to the mat. Untuck the toes, push your butt back over your heels. Finding a little bit of warmth, take a deep breath in. Sit a little deeper as you exhale out. Good, one more breath here. Nice and slow, roll yourself onto all fours, hands and knees. Take one big, deep, juicy cat-cow. Letting your belly get a stretch instead of dumping into the low back. And then articulating that spine as you drop the crown of the head, squeeze your butt forward. The next time you find a nice neutral spine, you're gonna tuck your toes, you're gonna hover those knees up, push your booty back over your heels, slide your hips to the sky, find your downward dog. Drop the heels if that feels safe in the back of the legs, or bend the knees if you need, taking a little pedal or little rotation of your rib cage left to right. With control, bend the knees as much as you need. Walk your hands towards your feet with as little shift of the hips as possible. Let your head hang a little heavier. Give it all a little shake at the bottom. Bend the knees, slowly restack the spine. As you grow nice and tall through the crown of the head, roll the shoulders up and back to fully standing. From here, I want you to lift your heels nice and high, pressing into all 10 toes. If that makes you lose your balance, just do one leg at a time. Lower your heels with control. Flex your toes off the mat, really pressing the heels downward. Toes press, heels lift. Heels lower, toes lift. So you just did this in a plank. It feels a little bit different. But notice if you can find a similar engagement through the abdominals, trying to maintain your pelvis just beneath your rib cage and your rib cage just beneath your head. The next time that you lower the heels, chin to chest, roll yourself forward. Warming up those ankles because you'll need them later in class. Take a breath at the bottom. Walk yourself out into your high plank with control. Find your high plank, tuck your pelvis, wrap the elbows back, biceps forward. Can you lengthen the back of your head a little bit more up towards the ceiling? Find that point of the toes. Find that flex of the feet. Just 4 more. Doesn't have to be big. Knees can always come down for 3. Good. Try not to round the upper back. Press down and widen to the pinky side of the palm to find that engagement for 2. Good. On this last one, soften the knees with control. Untuck the toes, butt back over heels. Take a moment in your child's pose. Widen those knees if you need it. Big, deep breath in. Let your hands relax. Give your wrists a moment to breathe. Heavy exhale out. From here, you're going to roll forward, find all fours. Once you find yourself on all fours, give yourself a cat-cow. This one can be whatever you want, loosey-goosey, ear to hip. Find some circles. Really start to open up the entire spine. Remembering that your head and your tail are connected. Finding 1 or 2 more of whatever little juicy stretches you are taking. Deep breath in. And then find your nice neutral position, hands and knees still down. You're going to push down into the hands, wrap your elbows back. If you need to drop to forearms at any point, you absolutely can. Press a little heavier into that right palm as you send your right leg straight back to a hover. Pause here. I want you to point through the toes. I want you to drop your right hip onto the floor a little more, and if you have access to it, take your left hand around your waist. Keeping that hip bone exactly where it is on the right side, can you start to lower your straight leg down towards the mat? And then lift it right back up to booty height. It does not have to go above your butt cheek. It doesn't even have to arrive in line with your butt cheek. I am way more concerned with the length in the back of that leg. You've already found this range of motion with your leg a few times as you walked out into your plank and back. If you need that left hand down, take it down. We're only going for 4. Keeping that pelvis nice and still, pressing down and wide into the right pinky side of your palm. Finding a little under butt squeeze as you lift that leg for 2. Good. The next time you find the lift of that leg, just hold it there. Can you flex your foot, pushing through the heel as if it could press against a wall? Can you point that toe again, feeling the whole quad engage? Flex the foot, press the heel even farther, squeeze the butt even more. Point the toe. It is the only thing you are doing for 4. Let it travel up the chain into your butt cheek for 3. You are almost done with this little part on your wrist for 2. Beautiful. Last one, point the toe, pull that knee in, push your butt back, take a child's pose. Take anything you need here for a moment. Let your head drop between your biceps, give your butt a little wiggle. You're gonna roll yourself forward onto that left forearm, finding your legs stacked in tabletop. Whew, we are sweating with my radiator on today. So with your legs in tabletop, if hanging out on that shoulder doesn't feel good, you can totally lay on your bicep. Otherwise, support yourself with the lift of your bottom waist, shoulder over elbow, right hand wherever you need it. You're gonna hover that top leg, you're gonna send it long. Take a breath in, you're gonna lower that straight leg long and low. You're gonna lift that leg nice and high. So same range of motion, except you're going abduction, abduction. And I want you to think about that pointed toe and flexed foot. I want you to pick one, it doesn't matter which one, play around with it and see how it helps you feel your butt cheek. For me, from the side, a flexed foot always helps me find it a little bit faster. If your bottom leg is super active, relax the foot. And then maybe if you're having trouble hiking that hip, take your right hand to that top hip and just give yourself a little push away. Finding that traction or a little poke into the side of the hip to force that glute to activate maybe just a little bit more than it wants to tonight. Good. Lastly, if your shoulder or neck is starting to tense, just turn your gaze to the floor, take your right hand behind your head for a little bit of support. Nice. Just 3 more like this, and then we hold the lift of that leg. Good. Can you stack your right hip bone a little more over your left for 2. The next time you find the lift of that leg, no big deal, you hold. This time you're gonna point your toes, you're gonna kick your leg forward just a few inches. Pause there. You want a deep hip crease in the front of that right hip, maybe even push your right hip bone back. I want you to lift your leg 1 extra inch, flex the foot, drag that leg back in space. Feel a little squeeze of that underbutt, give it a little poke if you can't find it, point the toe, kick forward. Flex the foot, drag back. So as most of you know, I am not a dancer, never have been, never will be. So pointing and flexing my feet is quite a small range of motion, definitely not as beautiful as ballerina. And the movement of my thigh bone in my hip socket safely and correctly is quite small. So you do not have to kick your leg fully forward to 90 degrees because you're probably tucking your pelvis to do so. And you don't have to drag that leg any farther back than your hip. You want to focus on the stability of the pelvis. You want to focus on that little glute burn. If you're not finding it yet, lift that leg a little higher for 2. Good. Check in with your left shoulder. It is away from your ear. The next time you point the toes, kick that leg forward, hold it there, push your right butt cheek back. 10 slow little pulses up. Can you point through the toe even more? Can you find a deeper crease in the front of that right hip? Can you lift your waist away from the floor for 4, 3, 2. Hold that lift on 1, y'all. Flex the foot, drag that leg back in space. Pause, push that heel a little farther away from you like you're sliding that leg through concrete. 10 little pulses up. Can you pull your toes even closer to your nose? Flex your heel even more. My thigh is shaking. Holy F for 5. For 4, slow it down for 3. Appreciate that burn for 2. Last one. Oh, let that leg come down. What the F? Give your hip a little love. Tap that hip out with your fist. I promise it helps. Deep breath in. You're gonna flip onto all 4s exactly as your legs still are. So hands down, left knee down, right leg back. Take a second here, take a little cat-cow if you need it. Good. I want you to go ahead and press down into the right toes, press down into the hands, scoop your left knee in and up towards your chest. The back of that right leg is still super active here as you flex the heel and point the toe. Keep that left knee in towards your chest the best you can. For 5, articulating from that right ankle. Hips are square. Can you pull the knee in a little more every time you point the toes? Long neck for 3. We kick that leg up into a 3-legged downward dog in 2. Ooh, last one, pike your hips up, shoot that left leg to the sky. If you're like, yeah, effing right, Bring that foot to the floor and just take a downward dog. Square your hips a little bit here. Bring that left foot down, so in your full downward dog. Take a breath. Adjust your stance, adjust the placement of your hands and feet if you need to. Breathe in. Nice and slow, pull the knees in from your low abs, set them to the ground, untuck your toes, child's pose. Whew. Let it all hang for a second. Good. Big breath in and out. Open the knees if you need, shift your hips a little left and right, play around with it. Beautiful. From here, we're gonna go ahead and roll forward. Find yourself on all fours, straight to the other side. So take a cat-cow once you're on all fours. If you need to take a butt stretch instead, take a little butt stretch. Good. If you need to come down to forearms, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, the next time that you find that nice neutral position of your spine, hold. Press down into the heel of the hand, press into that left hand just a little bit more, left leg shoots straight back. Pause. This side is so much harder for me to stay square, so my left leg isn't gonna lift as high, and that's a-okay. I've accepted my fate. And then if you have access to it, right hand is maybe touching that left hip bone. Can you push your hip bone into your fingertips, squeeze your butt, lift your leg just 1 extra centimeter? Amazing. I'm pointing my toes. I'm gonna lower that leg down. I'm gonna lift that leg right back up. Remember, your abs are always at the party. They are the host, they are the last person to leave. So if they have turned off, if you're feeling any low back pain, check back in. If you need that right hand down for extra support, take it, but resist the urge to shift your weight to the right side of the room. You can even take your fingertips, give a little pressure into the right inner thigh to make sure it is still active. This is 4. Good, pointing through those toes, trying to move just from that under butt, pressing a little deeper into the left palm. Last 2, you guys. The next time that you lift that leg, we hold that leg lifted, no biggie. Flex the heel, push through that heel, try not to dive forward like I almost just did, and then point the toes again. Flex the foot, point the toes. Feel that energy travel up the chain inside of your hip socket. 4 more. Can you lift your thigh a little higher as you flex for 3? Can your leg get even longer as you move the ankle for 2? Woo. Last 1. Good. Go ahead and find the bend of that knee and sit your butt back. Take your child's pose. Give your hips a little shake. You're going to roll yourself forward. Find yourself arriving on your right forearm. Once you find yourself arriving on your right forearm, legs stacked in tabletop, take a breath. If you need to lay on your bicep, lay on your bicep. Full-blown sweat fest over here. Take your left hand wherever you need it. And then just hover that top leg, extend it nice and long down the center of your mat. Hang out for a second once you've extended that leg. Adjust your weight out of your right shoulder. Press that left heel a little farther away and point the toes. Good. Start to lower that leg down. Lift that leg back up. Try and find just as much control now that you are not on all fours, but on your side. If you've done side bend a cajillion times, which from who I can see is on, you all have, then I want you to challenge yourself to go a little slower. Play around with a flexed foot, a pointed toe. Maybe shove your fingertips into that butt cheek to really fight for a little extra lift. Or see if you can try and challenge yourself to keep your ribs connected, keep your neck soft, keep your head long. Whatever it is today, we go for 4 more just like this. Never settle for tension in the neck or shoulders. Adjust if you need to. Last 3. Good. Can you go even slower on the way down for 2? Beauty. Lift that leg and hold. Take a breath. Point those toes as much as you can, feeling your quad engage. Kick your leg forward. Pause there. Can you widen your butt cheeks back? Pull your belly in and up. Flex the foot. Really reach through the heel as you slide that leg back in space. Push through that heel. Feel the underbutt squeeze. Point the toes. Kick it forward. I'm pulling my sit bone back in opposition to really get that deeper burn. Flex the foot. Drag it back. Again, doesn't have to be big. It can be 2 inches forward, 2 inches back. I want you to challenge yourself to imagine weights on your ankles, on your knees, and on your left hip. Try not to drop those weights. Keep that leg lifted. Good. Check in with the right shoulder. Don't sink into it. You're almost there. Nice. If you feel that left hip pushing back, tip it forward. You've got it, you guys. Last 2. Can you lift your left leg just 1 more inch every time it slides back in space? The next time you kick the toes forward, keep them there. Widen the sits bones, find that crease. 10 slow pulses. Try not to bounce. You control that 1 inch up and 1 inch down. For 5, for 4, for 3, last 2. Last one, flex that foot, FML, drag it back in space. Push through that heel even more. 10 pulses up. Go slower than you imagined you ever thought you could. Challenge that strength. You have 5. Soften your shoulders. For 4. Good. Can you flex the heel even more? For 2. Last one. Let it come all the way down. Give it a punch. Love punch. Flip onto your hands. Right knee is still bent. Left leg is long. Find yourself with the toes on the mat. Go ahead and take a little cat-cow or just flex the foot, really finding a little stretch in the back of that left leg. You're gonna go ahead and press down into the hands. Left toes are gonna stay planted. You're gonna scoop that right knee in and up from your abs. Flex your left heel. As you point, pull the right knee even closer in towards your chest. Flex that left heel nice and straight. Point through the toes, pull that right knee in even more. Last 4, and then we go for that 3-legged dog. Woo! For 3. Good. Press down and wide through the pinky side of the palm. Last 2. On this last one, flex the foot, reach that right leg straight up. Find your 3-legged dog. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. My motto in life. And then bring that right foot down. Find just your regular downward dog. Pedal out your knees here. Take a second. Deep breath in and out. Good. Hands are gonna walk towards your feet. Find your forward fold. Let your head hang, give it a shake, yes or no. Bend the knees if you need to. Slowly start to restack your spine. Keeping the legs soft, put the abdominals on. As you arrive at the top, head is the last thing, shoulders roll up and back. From here, you're gonna go ahead and find yourself in your wide set position. It's your last little burn. Whew. Once you find yourself in this second position, toes are just tilted to the front edges of the mat. You're gonna hold it there. Like you are sliding down between 2 panes of glass, you are gonna bend your knees, point them over your second and third toe, slide down a few inches, a plie. Again, not a dancer, so mine is quite small, but think of pressing out. Knees are pressing open, heels drive down into the mat as you squeeze everything to come in and up. Take a breath in, slide down. Ribs stay over pelvis. Engage from the low belly, drive through the heels, inner thighs and glutes work together to stand you tall. Just 3 more, you guys. Good. If you want to add a little heel lift as you arrive to fully straight legs, lift those heels. Lower the heels with control. Bend the knees, find your plie. Last 2. Hands can come wherever you need them. Behind the head is a great option to accelerate this even more. Give me 1 solid press up. Fully straight legs, squeeze your butt, lift your heels if you can. You're gonna lower the heels, find your plie and hold. I'm already upset about it, but we're gonna lift the right heel, lower back down. Can your hips stay square? Lift the left. Lower back down. Press your knees out even more. Tuck your pelvis if you need to. Solid. If you're feeling amazing, both heels lift, both heels lower. Can you sit a little deeper for these last 4? Moving those legs at the same pace for 3. So good, you guys. Last 2, and we have a set of pulses. Woo, if you want it, both heels lifted. If you don't, both heels down. Slow. An inch down, an inch up. Can you lift the belly button into the ribs? For 4. A little slower for 3. Widen the knees. Last 2. Last one, drop the heels. Push
yourself to stand. If you feel comfortable sitting into a squat, widen your stance a little more, sit your booty low, take it as a stretch. If this does not feel good, booty fully down, butterfly stretch. If you're here, maybe play around, opening up your ankles a little bit in your hips, just shifting side to side. Making sure you aren't fully rounded forward. Gorge. And then you're gonna find yourself on your butt, center of the mat. Feet planted, knees up towards the sky. If you feel good today, legs can go nice and long. You're gonna reach those arms forward, take an inhale. On an exhale, start to hollow out the low belly, lay yourself into the mat with control. Active, heavy legs pressing down into the mat will help you keep those legs heavy as you find your roll down. Arrive at the bottom, elbows come wide. Plant your feet if they weren't already. Take a moment here. Walk your heels a little closer in towards your butt. Good. You're going to cross your right ankle over your left thigh and just shift your legs a little to the left and then a little to the right. Feeling a tiny little release from your low back as your arms stay open, chest stays heavy. Okay. The next time your legs find center, float that left thigh up into tabletop. Maybe your hands grab the back of the thigh. Press your right knee open. Find a little stretch in that right hip. Can you open your throat a little bit more? Let your shoulders stay grounded. Take a deep breath in. Heavy exhale out. Good. You're going to keep the shape of your legs. You're going to plant your left foot to the mat. You're going to open your arms wide and you're going to let your legs fall all the way over to the right. Look over that left shoulder, let your right ankle fall off and just breathe into this twist. Right hand can grab that left thigh and give it a little pull for traction if you need it, or just hang out here. Breathe into the twist. Gently bring yourself back to center. Use those abs. Left ankle crosses over right thigh. Take a second here, just start to knock your knees a little to the left and then a little to the right. Feeling just a little release from that lumbar. Notice if you're clenching the jaw or furrowing the brow, let your face soften. It doesn't have to work here. The next time your legs are back to center, flex that left foot to support the knee, float that right leg to tabletop, grab behind the thigh, on top of the shin, whatever works for you. Try and drop your booty cheeks into the floor. Try and tilt your chin up a little bit more towards the sky to create space. If eyes are not softened to a close yet, shut those puppies if it feels okay. Appreciate the stretch you're finding, or dig deeper for a better one. Good. You're going to let that thigh go. You're going to let your thighs knock to the left. Open your arms wide. Look over that right shoulder if it feels okay. Try and breathe right where you feel the twist in that mid-back. Good. Bring your legs back to center. Simply roll onto your belly. Hands will come just beneath the shoulders. Once you have your hands just beneath the shoulders, back of the neck is nice and long. Keep your toes untucked. Use your strong arms to push yourself up and back into a child's pose. Do whatever feels good with your arms. Widen your knees as much as you need. Give your hips a little sway left and right. And then when you're ready, nice and slow, nose draws to navel. Restack your spine, bone by bone, until you are seated on your heels. Big shoulder roll up and back. And that's it. My hair grew 18 inches. If you have any questions at all, you guys, please DM me. If not, still good seeing so many people show up. And I hope you have a really good night. Bye.